Hi there, how are you? You are welcome to Passiontvng Nigeria. I am NseAbasi Valentine. Mommy used to call me Kokoma. I love that name. I just had to bring it on the show. Well, we're on set for The Salt. You know The Salt? That segment on our show where we have juicy, salty, not too comfortable conversations. Some of those talks that we run away from having. We have it right here on this show. I am NseAbasi Valentine Kokoma. One of the things we will talk about today is why are you not married up till now? Now that's a question that comes to me and to us a lot of times. Time is nigh for us to talk about these things. Let's get into salt this way, you know. It's the salt, and it's supposed to be a bit of salty, not too comfortable, but uncomfortably comfortable.
Hey, for real?
Yes.
You know, when I used to hear about the salt, I was just thinking rather of the spice to it, like the taste giver to it. Like, you know, you could tell a woman here, like I was doing a certain coaching session for someone there. I don't mean to take this, I'll just see how this can enter like 30 seconds. And then I was doing a coaching second for, a coaching session for a client. And then I asked her to pick a pen and paper and then make a list of everything she'd need to make her husband's most awesome meal. And then she wrote everything. She said the husband is a lover of, I think, porridge yam.
Yeah.
So she wrote this onion fish. She wrote the yam, she wrote the vegetables, she put the oil, she did everything. And then we were done, and then I was just so happy. I just had to read out to me, and then she read everything, and then I was like, you didn't put salt.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't write salt. And she's like, salt. And I'm like, you see, it's quite negligible to you, but without the salt, the food would never taste.
Can never give you
and then, you know, when I was done with her, well, let me just use that time to actually drop that here. And then when I was done with that, I just told her, that's what a woman is supposed to be. You're supposed to be salt. You're missing, they know. You're too much, it's a problem.
It's obvious.
So you have
And
to
that's
be
more
moderate.
like how the
So
Bible puts it.
Yes,
I'm a Christian. Let's not forget that. It says that you are the salt of the earth. So
when I hear salt, that's how I feel about that.
yeah, it's the one conversation that.
So this one, you're already telling us about the bitter side of salt. I'm already thinking of bitter things.
This is the point. We can talk about every other thing, but if we don't address this ones, then we've not attended to the nitty gritty, the main thing.
I told you,
Yes.
she's bringing bitter leaf.
Yes. So
Just
this
calling
is
it
it.
salt.
I have avoided some places, some aunts, some friends, because each time I show up, the first question is, "Why are you not married as beautiful as you are?"
Oh, wow.
And
See why she thought about salt.
okay. And then you get into church. After church, I now have a system. Once the amen is said,
You're off.
I'm off. But I do try to say, "Hi, sister. Hi, brother," and then I take
avoid
it away because I honestly cannot make that explanation. So
Always.
can we talk about it? Last time I checked, you're still single, like I am, and you're welcome back into singlehood.
Oh, back. Oh, back. Oh, back.
Okay, so what causes delayed marriage, girls?
First of all, I'd like to say that these are conversations I try not to have as publicly.
I absolutely understand.
Yeah.
But
Not because I have any issue with it, and not because I think there are just a lot of truths that people cannot receive. First truth is, if you weren't my friend and if it wasn't a very awesome show like this, and you'd ask me, why aren't you married? And then I'd just retort immediately to you, why aren't you dead?
Oh,
ouch!
that's rude.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
That's rather too salty.
off this camera, you say to me, why aren't you married? I'd say, why aren't you dead?
Because your mates are also dead.
Like the
Another
same
reason.
reason I'm not married, the same reason you're not dead. It's not time.
Oh God! Okay, that's for you. It's not
Yeah.
time.
It's
Oh, well,
not
for
time.
me, I think there are lots of reasons.
Okay, so let's
I
explore.
should have a choice.
Yeah, I think I get what she means when she says what causes delayed marriages. So, well, let's deal on that as much as we can.
Yes,
But,
we should.
I'm usually reserved about the topic first I'd say, let me let you.
You've tested the waters.
You seem to have something to say.
Oh yes. You see, I didn't even marry that early. I married after 30, and I had to stay that long because I knew what I wanted. I needed to go to school. I needed to start working and living before I get into marriage. And so you see, if I didn't achieve all of those, I'm sure I wouldn't have gone in there.
Okay.
Okay, that was it for you.
That was
So you needed to get
Okay.
established
Yes,
first.
first.
Okay.
Okay.
So I am often accused of being choosy.
Okay.
It's easy to hear people say, "Are you looking for some God, some kind of perfect, Mr. Perfect?"
You're not wrong.
Yes, and yes, I'm not wrong in having any kind of standard I would want to have, but I don't understand why at face value I'm judged like that. It just goes like, "You're too choosy. You're looking for that novel, tall, dark, riding in a Rolls Royce kind of man kind of thing,"
Okay.
which wouldn't be a bad idea.
Sure.
Well, keeping it to the fact that it's becoming a lot more prevalent to see women who've passed their late 20s into the early 30s. Like it's getting to be very normal to see lots of single ladies who are actually past, let's say, in the neighborhood of 30.
Okay.
If you'd ask me again why they are delayed marriages, I'd say there's a level of awareness that women are exposed to at the moment, and that's informing their personal choices. They're becoming more aware, they're becoming more enlightened, they're becoming a little more empowered.
Sure.
And I wouldn't just say a little more empowered quite all round. Education,
Yeah.
like education,
Finances?
yeah,
Okay.
financially, and sexually and otherwise. So with these bits of things, women are now having reasons to feel like, what did my mother go through that I may not want to go through?
Sure.
Or what did my mother achieve that I know if I achieve it will make my life a little easy?
Kind
When
of
I eventually
learning
get
from
married.
people's mistakes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Or just a personal decision that they don't want to go here until maybe they've been able to do this. Do this, do that may necessarily not even be any big thing. Some people may say until I'm able to achieve some level of financial stability, maybe a job or this. Or some people may just say, until I rock my life and finish. Whatever it is, I judge no one who makes those choices.
Exactly.
And then another reason that is not super intentionally a reason for delayed marriage, because those other ones I've said are actually intentional. Another reason is, I would say, lack of knowledge or understanding of self that leads to some mistakes that actually allow you get into a situation where you are not making the right choices towards marriage.
Upbringing?
I wouldn't say upbringing, it's part of it, but I wouldn't say upbringing.
Okay.
Reason I'm actually saying that is because there are some of us who actually want, like, it's a different thing when you don't want marriage until this time. But there are some people who want marriage,
But it doesn't.
but marriage
come.
isn't coming. And I don't know if we fall in that particular, if you fall in that particular category. Which category do I fall in? I think, in all honesty, I think now I want marriage. I wouldn't say marriage isn't coming. Let's say I really made up my mind for my like I really knew I was
you were
ready for
ready.
marriage at a certain point, not very long from now, like maybe about 2 years, 3 years ago. So yeah, would I say is marriage seeming to come by or not? Let me keep that. But there are some of us who actually want it, but it seems delayed. Why? I've come to find that, one, we may not have the right knowledge to actually help us put ourselves out there to be marryable or, marriage prone. Some of such knowledge is how you deal. For example, in certain communities, if you're tied to a certain location,
Okay.
There are things that you may do within that location that might not be very, very suitable.
Like being a TV presenter.
No. That's
Like being a
not
DJ.
it.
Not really.
No, that's not
really.
it. That's
Those
not
things
it.
come with a
Yeah, I
certain
know they do.
stereotype.
That's not
They
it. Now,
do.
that's a problem. That's education.
That's people's problems,
That's people's problem.
not yours.
Okay.
Okay, for example, let me say one of the things I have noticed, and it's a pattern that I actually had in my life, is because there's a big problem. First of all, how well do you know yourself? Some of us don't even discuss that. Some of our ladies are not even trained to understand who they
Who they
are.
are.
How many people ask the question of who they are before thinking of getting entangled?
That's the
with
problem.
someone
We're, most of us are not even trained for that. So you're actually trained to understand that
You're a
we're
lady.
dressed well,
Yeah.
be doing
You're a
this, so
lady.
that husband will.
Will
So
come,
from a
come.
very early point, there's this understanding of the fact that your life will have meaning when you are attached to
Yes.
somebody. So already without that somebody's attachment, your life doesn't have meaning.
Yeah.
In some places. So
Okay.
these kind of things at the end of the day were not addressed very, very well. And these people come into a state of maybe another level of awareness that clashes with what they had already been given.
Okay.
You have people who are not making good choices, who don't know how to select men who are good so that they can marry in good time, who have mental pictures of what they are looking for, when sometimes those things they're looking for may not match with their environment, may not match with who they are, and these things cause a delay in actually identifying a good man and attaching yourself onto a good man, or being able to respond to a good man if a good man were to come along.
Good.
So lots
Thank
of
you so
things.
much for sharing all of that. There is another reason. There is financial issues because the society where we live, our community, there seem to be limited opportunities. So even the guys that are willing to settle down are unable to settle down because there isn't enough funds to cater for marriage.
Responsibility.
And marriage is a responsibility.
That isn't a universal problem,
Hold on.
is it?
I've seen a guy who really wants to get married, but doesn't know how he will feed that family,
Exactly.
how he will accommodate himself
pay
and that
the right
woman
price
and the
and
children
all of
that
that.
will come. Let's not even talk about exorbitant marriage lists. It is an issue. We cannot run away from it. Some homes have lists that you can actually use and build plenty houses. And in those homes, you would find girls in those places grow to full age, and even though there are people coming along, they are unable to get married the right way. So what usually happens, you see them go into cohabitation, get pregnant, and if it is in dubious places, something happens to that person.
What do you think about that kind of case? I'm thinking that's almost an awesome different topic on its own.
Oh,
Are
I'm
you
sorry,
know-
exorbitant lists, it's an
adds to
issue. It does.
It does.
Oh
And
my
then if
god,
you
you,
have-
haven't seen list? Anibet shot the list
Yes.
because it was a big deal.
It was a problem.
It was a problem.
Yes.
There are people
It
who
is still going
it
on.
is still a problem.
And then
This is
when
a
you're
big part
giving-
of why why some people
do
have
not get
delayed.
married
Yeah.
in time. Yes.
Because
Because a girl, for instance, I'm sorry, a
Yeah.
girl, for instance, meets with a guy that she loves. They are good
Because
together. They are
I think I come
compatible.
from quite a cool place where I think I've been opportune to see a list and
It's friendly.
friendly.
But you do know that friendly for you might be unfriendly for some other person. But back to this part. So there's this girl, and she and her man in quote, they're compatible, they're good to go. They have minimal resources, but that cannot cater for the least, the marriage rights, dowry, and all of that in her place. So they have to wait and start working towards being able to afford that list. That's a problem
The
too.
process to stay together
And
then
something.
stuff begins to
Okay,
happen.
then that's a lot. Okay. Then there is the biological issue. There are people that are not compatible biologically with the persons they are comfortable with. If you're an
Yeah,
AS,
true.
you are not going to marry an AS. Who maybe you are drawn to, and maybe things are just working with this one. But that can actually make somebody to say, okay, so because of the future I look forward to having, so I'm not going to get into this union with you. So let me wait for another one. That can happen.
True.
Let's also not forget that there is the issue of people that want their freedom.
Good. And what?
They are not Oh, you are.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be accountable
Marriage
to
shouldn't come to
someone.
interfere.
They want to have their lives, do the things they want to do, achieve what they want,
Oh,
go to the
that's-
places
oh,
they
yes.
want,
Yeah.
without having to be accountable to a Mr. or a Mrs.
I don't think that's how it ends out
Oh,
for
yeah.
everyone.
Oh, really?
Though some
Not
people,
for
yeah, those
everyone.
some people want more
I
children.
do know someone who can afford marriage.
You know, as
But it's
I
not
listen
ready
to
for
you,
But let me get her point.
There is someone who can afford marriage, who can afford a wife, a home, and can take care of kids, feed, and anything, medical emergencies. But it's not just
but it's not
ready for it.
mentally ready
Yeah.
for it.
Mentally, yes,
Now,
ready
these
for it.
you see, all those particular kind of issues go back to who you are, what your priorities are, and all of that.
Exactly. And what you want.
True.
That differs from other from problems, because everything I'm listening to from you, I'm putting it through the lenses of delayed marriage. So I'm actually realizing that it's more like two things, just like I was trying to explain. There are causes that actually stem from you, and there are causes that stem from influence.
Environmental
Natural.
factors.
Like maybe not natural, like that family list and the rest
Oh,
of that.
yes.
But you know, external
You just can't-
influences.
exactly.
There are your issues and there are external issues. So if we
Some people can be sick. And
Yeah.
so because they are sick,
Yes.
they are unable to find a partner who is willing to bear that sickness with them. I know some. Someone is dealing with sugar issues, hypertension, and stuff like that. And with all the health challenges, they are unable to find a partner who wants to stay with them and deal with those issues with them. Those things make people delay in getting into a home.
I can imagine.
And then maybe you shouldn't run away from the fact that some people are actually choosy.
Yes. I know.
Yes, Esther, maybe you
Well,
should handle that.
if you put it to me,
Yeah.
my perspective on delayed marriage is I don't know how to just stay broad on topics. I'm usually trying to discuss topics towards a solution or towards expanding.
Okay,
So
cool.
I don't know what you prefer. Do we discuss this just towards expanding on it and showing all that's in it, or discuss it towards possibly fixing it if there is
Can
a way
you fix
to-
delayed marriage for anyone?
You may not be able to fix it,
Somehow,
but
to an
you
extent.
could
Okay,
highlight.
so,
yes.
you
so
could-
what's the solution it
you could
is?
highlight something. For me, on the issues that are personally
Self-imposed.
like self-imposed, or
Self-inflicted.
issues that are a lot more personal, issues like your choices and the rest of that, I'd like to be very real, because I told myself the same thing. I just told myself about a year or two ago, you may want, let me just use like a typical example that happens to virtually anybody. You might want a tall guy, but then you have this tall guy in your life who's really messing up.
Okay.
And then there's a short guy around the corner, but you just want a tall guy.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you will want to wait for a tall guy. But there's been two short guys, you
People
understand?
don't really come in the body you want.
Excuse me, oh. You see marriage you're looking for a tall guy.
Okay.
You check it out. Is the tall guy that was breaking your heart all along? Could you just sit back, do an appraisal, or do like reanalyze it all again, and then see the other reasons why you may have to dump tall, because tall is giving you delay, and go short, please. Now that's being super realistic.
And when you adjust, you have to be true with your adjustments. Not just getting married and then you begin to mess around with tall people after marriage.
Oh.
yeah. Reanalyze it and actually
whatever
fix it.
you're going
But
for, you just have to configure your mind, you're in for that. Except it doesn't come the other way. Like maybe it becomes abusive, maybe it tries to cage your dreams and all of those. So that's different.
people just have to try as much as they can to be super honest, because I think the case of the delay in marriage, from what I have seen, especially if I want to speak from my perspective, I've come to notice that as much as those external influences really pose a big problem, we have also been, to a degree, the cause of some of our issue. And when I say the cause of some of our issue, it's really not an issue anyway, to be candid. Because who sees it as an issue? Well, you end up giving yourself some stress. Like I said it from the very beginning. If this wasn't like a show and someone actually accosted me and like said, "Why aren't you married?" I'll just tell you, "Why aren't you dead?"
Okay.
You know, it's not time. It's not time. So, but if I actually want marriage, I've got to look inside and identify maybe patterns that have caused this. So if there's delayed marriage in any place, we've spotted a whole lot of reasons why these things happen.
There's one that we haven't mentioned.
Go on.
Being in a relationship with an insincere person.
Oh yes, that's attitude. That's
No,
your
no,
lifestyle.
no, no. For instance, both of you started this relationship with the definition that you were heading towards the long haul.
Okay.
But that was just a lie.
Babe,
Oh yes.
there comes a time when you realize that was a lie. See,
Well,
there's something I try to do with
that
myself right
time,
now. I
you
try very, very
haven't
hard to be very, very straightforward. Even if you realize that you were in a lie for 9 straight years, at year 9 you realize it, leave and get your life together, because you know what will happen? Tomorrow will still come, another year. See, I finished my bachelor's degree in 2013 thereabout. And then I just kept postponing a need to further. And there came a time in 2018 when I was supposed to buy the form. And then I was giving myself an excuse of, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. And then my friend kept saying, buy this form. There's something he said, get this form. 2020 will come. 2021 will come. 2022 will come. And those things you're thinking of doing, you may not even do.
Very true.
True.
So you see,
I'm a victim.
you now tell yourself, this relationship, I've been here 2 years now, I've been here 3 years, let me just stay. I've been here 4 years, you can't pass, you still be here. 5 years, you can't pass, you still I don't like the way some people who do Christianity do it. They do it and like, pray, stay there. Don't worry, things will get fine.
And they
really
add
solves a
the
lot of
line,
things.
and they add the line
Yes.
that a bed at hand is worth 2 in the bush.
You see,
I won't do
religion
that.
and tradition has a whole
Tick.
lot of they do a lot of damage to people if you don't really know the truth.
These are
about
the things that I'm talking about when I talk about those external influences.
They have a very great role. So you have to know who you are, know what you want, and go for it. No influence. That's it.
It's a
But you
little
talked about
difficult.
you talked about people who come in to deceive you. I've been a victim.
I have to.
People who just come
Have
to
you?
play all lovey-dovey.
Have I been a
And then
victim?
No, wait. I mean, somebody constantly drums it into your head. This is where you're headed. Actually, even comes to your home.
You know, honestly, I'm not sure.
And then puts checks on your path. Like you can't go a place without being accountable to them. And then one day you wake up and there is another news.
Oh no, that's why I talked about this freedom. Because any relationship you get into, you should know who you are, what you want, and you know that how you start it, that's how it's going to go. So if you there and then, like I was trying to talk about me, you come in a man who comes in to play into that person that he is seeing you to be with pretense, so that immediately after marriage or wedding, he just chaps you and then turns you into what he wants you to be.
Okay.
Hallelujah. You are God, my creator, Abba.
Yeah.
So in such situation, you wouldn't really know who this person is. Why? Because the person is like a chameleon.
Yeah.
You come in, you fit into my lifestyle. I'm telling you, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that.
And
I want
you're
to.
like,
So you're joining me
Yeah.
in what I want to do, and then after marriage, you're trying to now prune me into what you want me to be. Now, different from who I was.
Sigbege.
And then, in some cases,
You know-
they have issues.
I'm always wondering.
And
I'm always wondering, is it that I don't know why I always sound like this, but my sister once told me to never always, put that be that conclusive in my sound. I'm always sounding like, didn't you have a bit of time? There's something that would have proven that this person was like.
Well,
can
people can
really
pretend.
can
Sometimes-
people really pretend?
No, they do.
That stretch?
They
Yes.
do. But unfortunately,
They do.
they give subtle red flags, and then we don't really notice.
Maybe because you're
Because
blinded
someone
by
thinks-
something.
No, not really.
Let me
that
use this
blinded.
opportunity to say something. You just said something about that red flag. And, my sister really warned me that I shouldn't always be this conclusive, because she feels that maybe I have the strength to be able to detect things, but some people may not be able to. And that some people are super perfect, like you said, at playing that game. I found something recently because, in fact, let me just say it that way. I found something recently, and then I found that if you're in a situation where your heart just makes you feel like there's something wrong or you can't really feel what
Yeah,
it
you
is,
just think.
if you're not, because we've been taught of all these red flags, say if he's doing this, it's red flag. If he's not doing this, it's red flag.
But it's
See,
something.
forget red flag.
Still sits
I
on the
think
fence.
one of the hugest red flags that, sorry, let me not call it red flag. I think one of the hugest subtle things that we run away from that will help you rather than looking for red flags, because I don't go about sending people to look for red flags anywhere. But one of the things that you should learn to start identifying is when you are beginning to make excuses.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you don't see that thing, you call red flag, because I'm trying to help someone
True.
who might be in that situation that I'm talking about. If you're in something with someone and sometimes you second guess, but there are no red flags, think back inside yourself.
This person is
Have you
nice,
started making excuses like,
but
now wow, this person
is just
is
busy.
but if you're making those excuses,
the birds will haunt
check it.
you. I read somewhere that the things you avoid today will look for you tomorrow. And if you begin to second guess yourself for a particular relationship, take for instance, you like that tall guy, and then he has plenty of the things you want in a person, but he has a very unfortunate character that you know you will not be able to stand. Take for instance, the people who hate cheating, the people who hate stingy guys, the people. Now ask yourself, will I be able to? Or maybe he becomes
Can
so
you accommodate
cagey.
this person's
Can you?
excesses?
Exactly.
Because in the end, every one of us, we have
It's
these
better
excesses.
you get delayed than getting it wrong. I've been there.
At what point
I say that time and time again.
Okay.
I've been there. So getting it wrong can be very messy.
Does anybody ever really get it right?
Oh
yeah, because I was going to say, because, I mean, we're humans.
Does anybody really ever get it right?
We got flaws. Who is that perfect? Like, who doesn't have a scion, a bad side,
Okay.
a side that is excessive?
I'm getting very emotional here. You see, I used to tell people an abusive relationship is different from a problematic relationship.
Okay,
The ones
abusive,
with yes,
problematic.
yes.
Problematic
ones-
may be handled, but abusive,
Oh yes, you
that's
see,
a little...
abuse problems. He is he's dirty. He
You can clean him up.
No, we're starting from there.
Okay.
He's dirty. He anytime he he
He
changes
doesn't
his
flush
body.
his
No, he
toilet.
changes. No, I can't understand that. See, as far as hygiene is concerned.
You now call me drama.
No, as far as hygiene is concerned, I should not be the one to teach you hygiene.
But what if that's the only thing you have to deal with?
No, things happen
You
like that.
begin
You
to
can't
do-
stand it, leave it. You can work
Yes.
on it, stay.
So at that point, you begin
Okay,
to try
that's
it.
serious.
You
Yeah.
have to try to see if you can cope. If it's something you can cope, fine. If it's something you can't cope, then there are people who would want to take the pain of maybe employing a maid to do all of those, or you think you can do all the cleaning. I could do
For
all
the
the
rest of
cleaning,
the goddamn
but
life.
you see, an abusive person, someone who doesn't even care about your own emotions, someone who doesn't even think about you, like doesn't even give your emotions the food it needs. That person is abusive. Take for instance, I could be hurting, and then I have a partner who doesn't even care about that.
How did you end up with someone who doesn't care about you?
How do you even? Gosh.
Okay, so back to let's bring this home. The delayed marriage issue. I really would like some of those questions to, calm down. Leave people alone. Like you were saying, if someone says why you're not married, you're gonna say why you're not dead. I think I might just borrow that line.
No, don't go out there and be harsh.
Oh yeah, because
Like-
you could be
Don't go out there and be harsh. But actually, I just try to look. When I listen to people, there's something I always listen to beneath anything you say. I call that thing the presupposition. So I'm always looking for the presupposition of the things you say. Like what's the
It could
bedrock
come from
of
a place
why?
of
Where
care,
is that
place of
coming from? Does it
love.
come from a place of care? Do I need to educate you? Like educate you that that was not necessary and all. But speaking about delayed marriages, like we've actually shone light on these issues. We've actually been able to see that these things could actually be a personal issue, or it could be from external influences. If you're facing delayed marriage from the let's just say you're bearing the brunt of external issues like family, like religion. I know churches who say that their members do not will not marry from other churches. I have families. I have families.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, there are families who would say one thing or the other. There's at least and that. If that's your issue, you need to find a way to either sort this by having good conversations with your family. If you're so tied to whatever faith or whatever family that has placed that rule on you, then try and keep staying and hoping that the time will come and reach for you. Understand? And if that doesn't work for you, take things into your hands and actually either relocate or find your space. Find happiness, my dear. Please find happiness. And then if it is a personal situation that your marriage is delayed because you're too choosy, or because the things you're looking for you won't find, or because one thing or the other is not happening in the way you want, really assess the situation. For example, if I'm finding that the men I need, maybe because I need him to have a certain kind of income, because I need him to be a certain kind of person, because I need him to be in a certain kind of industry. If I'm finding that residing in Uyo will not help me find that man I am looking for, I will move to where I'm sure that I can find him. So this starts with understanding yourself. There is absolutely nothing wrong in not being married.
This starts with having your money.
Understanding yourself will even lead you to having your money if you should.
Okay.
Because if you're someone who loves money, if you love good things, you definitely have to afford the good things you want.
And I'm like, what? Hello, what are you talking about? I have my own money. I take myself. I don't have. What do you mean? I don't travel because I want to go and eat Lebanese food. I didn't want to go there. I just wanted to sleep, wake up, eat, sleep again. So that I can just rest in this life, because in the previous year I lost my grandmother, I lost my mother, I was going through too much, and I had lost a relationship I had for about 3 years. So I can't even stay bringing this life and just enjoy myself. You're going to ask me, who is the man? Oh my God.
Can we bring this home? Okay, truth is, when you do find a lady that's not married, and in your opinion they should be married at that time you're seeing them, I don't know if you are going to ask why they're still single. Maybe you should ask from a place of care, from a place of understanding, from a place of love, not from a place of judge.
Because some of us have tried. It's not like, like me like this, I want to marry. In fact, if you're watching and you forget this ring, if you're watching and it is still in like 2020, just know that I am single. Sure, understand. And I would like to marry. I'm not very, very picky in this life. I just want you to have respect for yourself. Respect me too. That is just the thing. Sure, understand. So it's not like we don't want to marry. Sure, understand. We want to marry. It's not like we want too much. We're possibly just in a place where marriage is not working because of the fact that someone is not understanding us, or we're not actually finding something. But it's not like we're super too picky. So please, the message I basically just want to pass is the fact that it's all right if marriage hasn't happened to you yet, and you've crossed and you're in the 30 neighborhood. I'm in the 30 neighborhood as well. I just got there last year. So it's nothing absolutely bad, nothing bad. Yeah, please. And also, please, I'm using this opportunity to let you know that I'm very, very single, not too searching, but can accommodate.
Let me also add to that. I would want to say
Enobong.
What have I do? What have I do?
You should treat someone the way you want to be treated for a relationship. Like, if you're a giver, or if you expect someone to be giving you, be a giver. If you talk people down, expect that you could be talked down too. True. Oh yes. So you can't give what you don't have, and you don't also have to expect from me what's. A lot of people, if you give them what they give to people, they wouldn't take it.
They can't handle what they're serving.
So that's it.
Okay, and here is me saying marriage is going to be beautiful, will be beautiful.
Marriage
so while we are...
Don't mind her saying it's going to be. Marriage is
it is.
Oh my God.
Have you been married?
My sister has a loving husband. They have 4 children.
That's it. My parents had a wonderful marriage, and I have siblings who have.
We'll have to come back and talk about marriage now and then. These people used to have marriage that just used to look at it. You are going to buy very, very fresh toasted bread and just put butter and just enjoy your life. Why is it looking like right now it's becoming too tough? I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. That is part of why marriage is delayed, because of people are thinking that this thing will be a tough business.
I think. No, that's because people have different personalities. And then they don't even understand that personality.
I think I must mention the fact that a whole lot of why these things are even coming up It's the enlightenment and the education of the woman folk.
Yes. So people even talk about it. Like, you tell me how yours is good, and I tell you mine is very horrible. And some other person who had it very horrible to says, so what are you doing about it? You just stay there.
And
Back then, women didn't actually always sound like, oh, I'm always telling the program. Back then, women didn't always sound like, and you are still there. Back then, women had their communities and they were able to joke about it. They would pray. When one of them is beginning to cry, like I watched Tyler Perry's story when he said he would join his mother to where these women used to sit and talk about how rough their marriages were. And if one of them will talk about it and then start to cry, one of the men will start to get up and do a joke and start to dance, and all of them will be laughing. Yay! I remember.
No, but that still happens today. It depends on your group.
No, see, we're super enlightened. Women are super enlightened now that when you say such stories, the very first thing is not trying to console. Well, in some areas, women still try to encourage you to tell you, don't worry, God will help you. But it's getting more prevalent now that another woman here, he slapped you. And what are you doing there? Let me call you a divorce lawyer. They will copy that for you.
Oh my God, ladies, calm down.
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh God. It's just too much.
It's really deep to talk about stuff like that.
Yes.
And I always pray we get it right, because love is very beautiful.
It is.
Love.
It is.
When you get it with you're in love with someone that loves you back. Did I tell you something about last year when I fell in love with someone?
Hallelujah, Jesus, conquer the one place.
I just couldn't have it because
Tell me,
he had his time to get out, and I was still in court, I am still in court, and I can't.
Wait, leave the sad parts. But how was falling in love?
Oh God.
Please don't let me.
Don't cry again.
See,
no, it's not.
Stop doing things that will make me take off your wig.
Come on now. We've done that before.
No, it's not. It's not a pleasant thing to feel the person not being with you. But wow.
I need tissue. She's tearing up.
Can you just allow her land?
But I know that it's better to feel love than not falling in love at all. Love is beautiful.
Okay. And again, let me just add that it is okay to wait for what you want, what you think you can handle.
Exactly.
Don't run into it because people are asking those questions.
You can find love anytime. It should just be normal that you can find love in 40, you can find love in 50. There's nothing wrong.
But I'm just going to add that while you're waiting for that, you should get busy
do
doing
something. Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's a good place to leave it.
Straight up.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you think of other reasons why marriages are delayed, reasons for delayed marriage, comments and let's learn from you too. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Queen-Esther and Enobong Alphonsus. See you on the other side. I have a quick request though. Please, like my page on Facebook at Passiontvng NG. On YouTube, you can find us on Passiontvng NG. On Twitter, Passion Media NG. On Instagram, Passion Media NG. Please just do, because honestly, we're here because of you. And we can't get this done without you. Thank you.